Hello students. The best time to visit India is between the months of October to March as per tourist guidelines when the climate is warm and dry. But the people who like to spend their vacations in chilly regions will prefer the months of November to Jan, and during those months a sweater or blanket is an irreplaceable item in their backpacks. We know that sweater is knitted by using woolen yarn and wool we get from sheep. Wool is obtained from the fleece or hair of sheep or yak. Cotton clothes will not help us to escape from cold as there is no space between the cotton fibers. But woolen fibers have space between them which will trap air inside it, and this air is a poor conductor of heat. This will help to protect the heat from escape out of the body in colder climates and thus keeping us warm. The another fiber which we obtain from animals is silk. Silk is used to weave silk saris and dresses and is obtained from silkworm. Both silk and wool which we get from animals is in the form of fibers. Do you know how these fibers are converted into woolen yarn which is used to knit the sweaters or dresses? Let's try to answer this question through this video. Sheep, goat, yak are known as wool yielding animals. These animals have a thick coat of hair. Hair traps air from the atmosphere. You might have learned in your earlier classes that air is a poor conductor of heat. Air will prevent the escape of heat from an animal's body to the atmosphere, and this helps them stay warm. This thick hair is nature's gift to these animals. Wool is derived from these hair fibers. The hairy skin of sheep has two types of fibers. One is the coarse beard hair. This hair is long and rough. The next one is the fine, soft under hair which is close to the skin. This fine under hair provides the fibers for the production of wool. Some breeds of sheep only have fine under hair. It is easy to cut, remove and separate fine under hair from these animals as they don't have the outer coarse beard hair. Sheep from this breed are selected and the younger ones obtained from these parents will only possess fine under hair. This process of selecting parents to obtain special characteristics in their offspring is termed selective breeding. Let's learn about the animals that yield wool. Wool that is commonly available in the market is sheep wool, but there are other animals as well which yield wool. The long smooth fiber obtained from Angora goats is known as mohair. The wool obtained from them is used for making hats, sweaters and other furry accessories. Angora goats are mainly found in Jammu and Kashmir. The inner layer of fur of Kashmiri goat is soft and is woven into fine shawls called pashmina shawls. Pashmina shawls we get from Kashmiri goat. Llama and alpaca found in South America are types of camels. They yield wool as well. You can see they also have thick hair around the body. Now let's learn about the rearing and breeding of sheep. Rearing sheep means looking after them, feeding them and taking care of other needs of sheep. Sheep are reared mainly in states of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttaranchal, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat. At least in movies, you might have seen the shepherds taking herds of sheep for grazing. Sheep are herbivorous animals. Apart from grass, rearers feed the sheep a mixture of pulses, corn, jowar, oil cakes, etc. Oil cakes are the material left after taking out oil from seeds. These foods will increase the health of sheep and will in turn help in the production of good quality wool. During winter, sheep are kept inside and fed on leaves, grain and dry fodder. Many breeds of sheep are reared in different parts of India. A few minutes before, we learned about selective breeding. Parents of special breeds are selected. Breeds of sheep with thick cords of hair are selected and reared for wool. This selective breeding will help in the production of good quality wool. Once the reared sheep develops thick hair, it is shaved off from its body. You all might be familiar with the yarn of wool which we buy from the market to knit sweaters. The woolen fibers obtained from sheep undergo a long process to finally become this yarn. Let's learn about the processes involved in turning fibers into wool. The first step is shearing. The fleece of sheep, that means the hair of the sheep along with a thin layer of skin, is removed from its body. This process of removing fleece is known as shearing. In barber shops, they use some razors for shaving. Similar machines are used for shearing sheep. When your father shaves his beard, a thin layer of skin is removed, but it barely hurts as the outer layer of skin contains dead cells. Similarly, shearing will not hurt sheep. The hair will grow again. Usually, shearing is done during hot weather. We learned that hair protects the animal from cold weather by providing necessary warmth. If we cut hair during colder climates, it will adversely affect the animal's health. For this reason, hair is cut during hot weather. Second step is the sheared skin with hair is washed thoroughly in tanks to remove grease, dust and dirt. This is called soaring. Nowadays, soaring is done with the help of machines. The whole hair will not be of same texture. So after soaring, the hair is sent to a factory where hair of different textures is separated. The small flurry fibers are picked from the hair. These flurry fibers are called burrs. Sometimes these burrs appear on sweaters. Again, these fibers are washed thoroughly and dried. This wool is ready to be drawn into fibers. Next step is dyeing fibers. The natural fleece we get from sheep is black, brown or white in color. But we can dye the fibers in various colors according to the choice. The dyed fibers are now combed and rolled into yarn. The longer fibers are used for making sweaters and the short fibers are used in making woolen cloth. The long fibers are stronger and give more warmth. A lot of people work in wool industry. Sometimes the fleece is affected by a bacterium called anthrax. This bacterium causes a blood disease called sorter's disease. People working in wool industry face these kinds of risks and such risks are called occupational hazards. Workers in many kinds of industries face occupational hazards. You might have noticed that for ceremonies or marriage functions, women prefer to wear silk sarees and silk dresses. We get silk from silkworms. Earlier we learned that sheep are reared for wool. Similarly, silkworms are reared for silk. Rearing of silkworm to obtain silk is called sericulture. Before learning the processes of silk production, let's learn about the life history of silk moth. The female silk moth is light brown with dark bands running across the body. The adult silk moth cannot fly and will die within days. During this short lifespan, they mate and the females lay around 300 to 500 eggs, which will hatch in 7 to 14 days. The larvae that hatch from eggs are called caterpillars or silkworms. These silkworms or larvae have a strong appetite. Their natural food is mulberry leaves. They grow in size and enter the next stage of their life called pupa. The larvae weaves a net to hold itself and then swings its head from side to side in the form of an 8. During these movements, the caterpillar secretes a fiber-like substance. They secrete a fiber, and this fiber contains a protein which hardens on exposure to air. These are silk fibers. The caterpillar completely covers itself with silk fibers and now it can be called a pupa. The covering of pupa is called a cocoon. The development of pupa into an adult happens inside the cocoon. Here you can see this is the cocoon. This white part is the cocoon and inside it you can see the pupa. Silk fibers from these cocoons are used in the production of silk clothing. In strength, silk can be compared to a thread of steel. It is very strong. There are varieties of silk moths and the silk fibers obtained from them differ in their texture. Tesser silk, Muga silks, Kosa silk are obtained from cocoons spun by different types of moths. The most common silk moth is mulberry silk moth and the silk fiber obtained from them is soft, lustrous and elastic. These fibers can be dyed in different colors. Now let's learn about the processes that involved in the production of silk. We have already learned that the female moth lays hundreds of eggs. These eggs are stored on strips of cloth or paper and sold to silkworm farmers. These farmers keep these eggs under hygienic conditions and at suitable temperature for the larvae to hatch. The larvae are called silkworms or caterpillars. Rearing of silkworms is done at the time when mulberry trees bear fresh crops of leaves. This is because the natural food of caterpillars is mulberry leaves. The larvae are kept in bamboo trees along with freshly chopped mulberry leaves. The caterpillars eat day and night and grow in size. After 25 to 30 days, larvae stop eating and start to spin cocoons. They secrete the fiber and cover themselves inside it. Small racks or things may be provided in the bamboo trees to which cocoons get attached. The cocoons are kept under the sun or boiled or exposed to steam. Thus, the silk fibers can be separated out. This process of taking out threads from a cocoon for use as silk is called reeling the silk. Reeling can be done with the help of machines which will unwind the fibers of silk from a cocoon. Silk fibers are then spun into silk threads. These silk threads are used by the weavers to weave silk clothes and saris. That's it about the chapter Fibers to Fabric. If you like this video, please share it with your friends. If you have any queries, put it in the comment box. Thank you.